September of 1998 brought an unexpected wave of heat to Buenos Aires. The city, already vibrant and bustling, seemed to pulse with even more energy beneath the relentless sun. In the neighborhood of San Telmo, renowned for its cobblestone streets, bustling flea markets, and impromptu tango performances, the air shimmered with possibility. On that particular Sunday, hundreds of people spilled into the streets, weaving between stalls, brimming with handcrafted wares, the aroma of sizzling empanadas, and the strains of music that seemed to rise from every corner. Amidst this tapestry of life, a little girl named Sofia walked at her mother's side, her small hand clutching the edge of her mother's dress with unwavering determination. Sofia was 5 years old, with a tumble of wavy brown hair and wide, curious eyes. She wore a white dress sprinkled with tiny blue flowers, the fabric fluttering lightly around her knees as she moved. For a moment, as her mother paused to peer into the window of an antique shop, Sofia's attention was captured by a melody, sweet and plaintive, the notes of a violin drifting through the crowd. Entranced, she released her grip on the dress and wandered a few steps forward, drawn by the music's invisible thread. In the swirl of people, in the dance of shadows and sunlight, Sofia vanished from her mother's sight. Panic rippled through the air as her mother realized her daughter was gone. Her cries for Sofia were swallowed by the cacophony of voices and the relentless rhythm of the city. For Sofia, the world had suddenly grown vast and unfamiliar. She stumbled through the forest of legs and hurried footsteps, her heart thundering in her chest, searching for something, anything, that felt safe. Near an old stone fountain, she found a vacant bench and climbed onto it, her small feet dangling just above the ground. She pressed her fists to her eyes, fighting back tears, when something caught the sunlight and glimmered at her feet. It was a delicate golden necklace, its chain fine as a spider's web, with a tiny star-shaped pendant. Sofia picked it up, her fingers trembling, and clutched it to her chest, as if it might shield her from the world. Time seemed to slow. No familiar face appeared in the crowd. Sofia felt the heat of the stones beneath her sandals, the weight of the city pressing in, and the soft, cool touch of the pendant in her palm. She did not know where to go, nor how to ask for help. As the sun dipped behind the ancient rooftops, casting long shadows across the plaza, a couple of tourists noticed her sitting alone. The woman knelt down, her voice gentle and soothing, and asked if Sofia was lost. Sofia nodded, too weary to speak. They led her to the local police station where, after what felt like an eternity, she was reunited with her frantic mother. The embrace was fierce, the tears unstoppable, and in that moment, no one noticed the little golden necklace Sofia still held tightly in her hand, her secret talisman against the chaos. Life moved on. The necklace, forgotten in a box of childhood treasures, traveled with Sofia through the years, across the shifting landscapes of childhood and adolescence. Occasionally, she would find it tangled among old toys or nestled beneath yellowed school notes. Each time, she felt a strange ache, a whisper of something lost, but she would set it aside, not understanding why it unsettled her so. It was not until many years later, in 2016, that the necklace resurfaced with an urgency Sofia could not ignore. Now 23, she lived alone in a small apartment in Palermo and worked as an assistant in a local bookstore. On a quiet afternoon, while sorting through boxes from her past, she found the necklace again. It gleamed as brightly as it had on that long-ago day, untouched by time. Driven by a sudden, inexplicable curiosity, Sofia took the necklace to a jeweler in her neighborhood. She wondered if it was valuable or merely a piece of costume jewelry. The jeweler, an older man with sharp eyes, examined it carefully before delivering news that made Sofia's heart skip. The necklace was real gold, and on the back of the star pendant, there was an almost invisible engraving, 2 letters intertwined with delicate precision. The letters were A and M. The discovery echoed in Sofia's mind. Who had lost this necklace? What did the initials mean? Could it be that the necklace carried a story she had never known? Unable to let the questions rest, Sofia began to search for answers. She retraced her steps to the streets of San Telmo, showing photographs of the necklace to antique dealers and market vendors, scouring old records of lost property. No one recognized the piece, though some remarked that it looked like a family heirloom, the kind passed from generation to generation. What began as a curiosity soon became an obsession. Sofia felt certain that unraveling the necklace's origin would unlock something hidden within herself, a missing piece she had never known she lacked. One night, after weeks of fruitless searching, Sofia decided to open a box of old family documents stored at the back of her closet. Among the faded papers, brittle photographs and ancient diplomas, she found a letter dated October 8, 1 month after the day she had disappeared at the street festival. The letter was not addressed to Sofia, but to her mother. In it, a woman described seeing a small girl alone near a fountain holding a necklace. She claimed the necklace did not belong to the child, but to her own daughter, who had vanished years before. The letter ended with a poignant request. If she ever asks, tell her the truth. The necklace was my daughter's, but now it belongs to Sofia. Perhaps in this way, 2 stories can find peace. Sofia's heart pounded as she read and reread the letter, trying to absorb its implications. Who was this woman? Who was the daughter she mentioned? Why had her own mother never spoken of this? That very night, Sofia went to visit her mother, who now lived in a quiet house on the city's outskirts. The conversation was difficult, fraught with long silences and averted eyes. At last, her mother confessed, on the day of the festival, when the police found Sofia, she was holding the necklace. At first, there had been confusion. No one knew where the child had come from, and she matched the description of another girl, Heish, who had gone missing months before. But when Sofia responded to her own name, the authorities decided it was a simple mix-up. Her mother had received the letter weeks later, but hid it out of fear, afraid that if she revealed the truth, she might lose her daughter. She had hoped that with time, the questions would fade. Sofia was overwhelmed by a storm of emotions, understanding for her mother's fear, but also a deep sense of loss for the untold story that had shadowed her life. The necklace seemed to pulse in her hand, as if it too was waiting for answers. Determined to know more, Sofia began searching for records of missing children in Buenos Aires from the years before 1998. She pored over old newspapers, scanned public databases, and combed through archives. It was then that she found an article from 1995 about a girl named Amalia, who had disappeared at the age of 3 while playing in a park near San Telmo. The detail that made Sofia's breath catch was the description of a necklace, a delicate gold chain with a star-shaped pendant, engraved with the initials A and M, Amalia Montes. The article described how Amalia's parents had searched for her for years, never giving up hope. Her mother, it said, visited the San Telmo fountain every Sunday, leaving flowers and letters in the hope that her daughter might one day return. Sofia knew what she had to do. She had to find Amalia's mother. She had to return the necklace and, perhaps, bring closure to a story that had haunted two families for decades. With the help of community groups and social media, Sofia tracked down an address for the Montes family. The house was modest, its paint peeling, in a quiet neighborhood far from the city's heart. Sofia hesitated at the gate, the necklace heavy in her palm, feeling as though she stood at the threshold between two lives. When the door opened, an elderly woman with grey hair and sorrowful eyes appeared. At the sight of Sofia, she pressed her hand to her mouth, recognizing something beyond the young woman's face. Sofia, unable to speak, simply held out the necklace. The woman took it with trembling fingers. Tears filled her eyes and spilled down her cheeks as she clutched it to her heart. She invited Sofia inside and, through broken words and long silences, told her the story of Amalia, the bright, lively child, the day she disappeared, the endless search, and the slow king acceptance that followed. Sofia listened, her own heart aching with empathy and understanding. She knew she was not Amalia, but she also realized that she carried a piece of her, a memory, a hope, a legacy that could not be erased. When she left the necklace behind, a silent promise that Amalia would never be forgotten. In the days that followed, Sofia felt a lightness she had never known. For the first time, she understood that the past need not be a prison, but could instead be a bridge to something greater. Her story, marked by loss and mystery, was now also a story of truth and reconciliation. She continued to visit Senora Montes, bringing flowers and sharing long conversations. In time, they filled the empty spaces left by years of absence, building a new family not of blood, but of choice and understanding. In this new family, forged from memory and forgiveness, Sofia discovered a profound sense of belonging, a home she had never known she was missing. Sometimes, life weaves together broken threads in ways we cannot foresee. If we have the courage to follow those invisible strands, we may find that loss can lead to new beginnings, and that the stories we inherit can become the foundation for the lives we choose to build.